Hello, 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 hello. This is episode number 74 with Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Britt, and today we got a good one. We have number episode number 74, Tired, Don't Get Results by Gerard in the building. How you doing today, boo-boo?
Yeah, I'm feeling amazing. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me. How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing too. It's a new week. We got through the first week of 2024. How are you feeling? Are you into New Year, New Me? Do you have goals? I know you have goals, but how are you feeling by it being what's the day? The 14th day of the month. How are you feeling?
Listen, I'm writing down goals. I have like a sheet of paper that I just write down a lot of my goals. Staying motivated, staying hungry, and grinding. Tired, don't get results. Let's get it.
Right, right. I love that. I love that. I was gonna say, it's funny because by the time it's the 14th business day or the 14th day of the month, people are usually tapped out. They ain't going to the gym. All them goals that they had, they probably already eating them chips and them burgers and them sodas or whatever it is that we're trying to do. But I just want to encourage everybody to take it one day at a time to be a better person for yourself each and every day. Because that's all we can do, right?
Absolutely. Yep. One day at a
Yeah.
time, but just grind. Grind every day.
Right. So y'all, okay, so I started a new segment. This is my second segment of Kitchen Talk. Kitchen Talk for me is just like a flirty, real life conversation segment where I do focus on mindset, but it's real conversation. We in here, we talking about what we can do to be a better person, but you can be yourself. And so I wanted to show the audience a different side of me, Gerard, because my podcast is about mental health and mindset and healing the inner child. But I wanted the audience to see that it's all about balance. So yeah, so that's why I started Kitchen Talk because I was like, you know what, it's a new year, and we need to go ahead and come into this year. Of course, we're going to be serious about what we're trying to do this year, but we definitely need to come into this year with being flirty, having fun, but also having that determination, that discipline, and that obedience. And we definitely are going to talk about that a little bit too. But before I get into all of that, let's talk about Cat Williams a little bit.
Yep.
Shout out to Shannon Sharp. Y'all, he has like the number 3 podcast on podcast platforms. He is very smart in bringing Cat Williams to the stage at the beginning of the year. It's funny because one man has really broke the internet already for the year. Like he has gotten over 600 views. I know he's probably at almost a billion. Just off of what Cat Williams is talking about, where everything is going on in the celebrity world. Now, my podcast is not focused on social pop, what's going on in the celebrity world, because I really can't keep up. My husband is usually the one that tells me everything, Gerard, because he was like, you need to talk about Cat Williams. And I'm like, well, I want to talk about how he pretty much shut down the internet. And I want to talk about how Shannon Sharp was very smart in bringing him on the show. But all the politics in between of the men dressing like women, that's a lot. That's a lot. So when I talk about what's going on with Cat Williams, how do you feel about it just being a black man? Do you feel any way about that?
You know, um, when I watched the interview that he did, most of what I really got was he was speaking from a point of holding himself accountable, or holding who he is as a comedian, as a black individual, and not wavering based upon, even if it was like Hollywood that wanted him to do like a movie a certain way, or how he changed the script, like in um, Friday After Next, where he had to, like, I think he mentioned something about getting raped in the movie, but he switched it up. So I think also what he talked about is about putting in the work ethic versus people that are just stealing things that he supposedly like done prior. And I like to relate it to like being an athlete, right? Because I've done some athletic competitive sports. And I understand the work ethic that goes into it. Like I've done what's called strongman competitions. If you ever seen that on TV, some guys is like pulling trucks and doing all that craziness. Like I've done that for a few years,
Oh wow.
and those years that I've done that, the work ethic that goes into that, like eating right, training like twice a day. So when Cat Williams is talking about like, I guess perfecting his craft as a comedian, and then other comedians coming out of nowhere, taking some of the jokes that he was saying, then I can understand where he's coming from that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I love your spin on it. That's what I wanted from it. That exactly what I wanted from it. Cat Williams was standing on business. He's standing on business the whole 2024 is how I took it and ran with it, because he really just, like you said, he told his truth. He stood in his authentic truth. And everybody can't do that, especially when you are in that type of environment or in that type of caliber. I don't know nothing about it, but it's just amazing just to see one man, one show come and do all of that. So I was just amazed at that. I definitely was amazed. But is there anything else that when you think about what he did and how he came on Shannon Sharp podcast, is there anything that you take from, or do you feel offended by being a black man?
No, no, I think he's the type of individual so far that I've seen that he doesn't really want to gossip, but I guess it got too far for him. And once he started pointing out on the podcast, on the interview, certain people that came up
Mm-hmm.
said things. He even called Shannon Sharp out on a few things, like, hey, when this person said this, you didn't say nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really would go back to like what you were saying. He's standing on business and he's not, joking around. I don't feel offended about any of it as a black man. Some of his some people think some of his comments are like negative and dramaful.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you're in that industry, then it's kind of hard to really say.
Right.
If you're a comedian, if you are actually in Hollywood, it's kind of hard to say. You know,
Right, because we
Hollywood.
don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So okay, I'm out for Cat Williams. I just thought that was something to come and bring into Kitchen Talk. Guys, if y'all haven't seen the episode and you're interested, definitely go check out Shannon Sharp's interview with Cat Williams. Just to give you a little bit more background about what Cat was talking about and how he's standing on business and he's being his authentic self. I felt like we was just poking a bear. I felt like whenever you poke a bear and you keep poking that bear and then you poke them too damn much and then that's what you got. So
You want to get what they say. What did the five fingers say to the face? Right? Remember that?
so yeah, so that's what I took from it. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about Gerard and what you got going on. I love your brand. I love it. And I'm
Appreciate it.
so grateful that you took the time to come on the show today and be a part of the podcast. I'm just honored to have you here. So I just want to say thank you.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. And tired don't get results. It's a funny story behind it, but what it means first is it stands for like pushing yourself beyond your limitations, right? So when you read it, or if you have the shirt on, it represents pushing yourself beyond limitations. It could be for that athlete that's chasing victory. It could be for that entrepreneur that's trying to pursue pursuit for their dreams. It could be anybody that's just a hustler and just going after what they want. So it was a funny story. A friend of mine, we was on the phone talking, and we thought about going to the gym. And I kept trying to get her to go to the gym. I'm like, yo, come on, let's do it. Let's go to the gym. And she's like, oh, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I was just like, yo, tired don't get results. And she said, you should make that a shirt. And at first I thought about it and I was just like, yeah, I don't know. But then like after repeating it in my mind a few times, I said, okay, let me go get like a test run. Like let me go put it on a shirt, see how it looks. And it was over the summer of 2023. And I got a lot of feedback from it. And I said, okay, I think this is something. So I bought the machines, I did everything. I started making the shirts myself. Next thing you know, just started spreading. I was like, okay, good, let's go.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. You can see it; it's good quality. I'm always looking at a shirt. I love our community because we're so creative. We have so many different gifts from God, and sometimes we don't even notice within us. And so I think your friend, whenever you went to the gym, she just sparked something within you that you didn't even know that was there. Y'all was just going to the gym, just getting that workout in, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, like the slogan says so much. When you were making those t-shirts and you were starting your business, what were you going through during that time to make you want to be an entrepreneur?
Oh man. Hey man, that's a deep question. That's a very deep question because in life we all go through stuff, right?
Yeah.
So um during that time I was going through a breakup actually. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I was at the time I'm running an Airbnb business, so I have properties of Airbnb, and I was running Airbnb businesses, and then going to the gym and finding out what else can you do, like what else can you get going, and then I wanted something that could represent something that everybody would be proud to wear, not just something that represents like my last name or something like that. I wanted something that when somebody goes to the gym or they wear it, they know that they putting their best foot forward. They know that they're striving for greatness. So um, I was just thinking that I was just like, okay, I gotta figure this out. And then once the conversation came about, I was just like, wow, it's like that light bulb moment, like.
Uh-huh.
And when you get that light bulb moment, like you can't sleep, you up all night, you kind of thinking of stuff, and that lasts for like a good week. I'm thinking, okay, how you gonna do this? Okay, now I got the shirts, now I gotta get the sweatshirts, now I gotta get the hoodies, now I gotta get the hat, now I gotta get the sweatpants, now I gotta, so once I came out with it, I went ahead and trademarked it. And it's been a journey. I love it, So as I'm running, my Airbnb businesses, I'm also getting the orders that people want, and I'm staying busy. So it kind of
Okay,
took away
multiple
from
streams.
yeah. So it kind of took away from what I was dealing with in my relationship to stay focused on business.
Okay. And what have you learned from the breakup? Like, I don't want to, you don't have to tell me all your business, but what have you learned from that? Because heartbreak can do something to us. I know me, I done been through heartbreak. I'm like a little girl. Like everybody pick on me that's around me. I'm crying, I'm sad, but then I had that girl mama where I'm like, let me get dressed, true. Let me go outside. Like, let him know that I still got it, whatever the case may be. But what is it something that you could tell people that are going through a breakup or going through a hard time that you learned from that?
To be really blunt with it is just that life goes on, right? As much as we, have moments of like sadness and you feel like you just don't want to do nothing, um, it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the main goal is how long are you going to stay in that funk,
Right.
in that low state, right? So for me, um, during that breakup, it was stuff that I did and it was stuff that she did, right? And it just came to a part where it was just like, all right, this is just not going to work, and just had to call it off, regardless of how I felt. or how she felt. It just wasn't working out. So yeah, I went through it. Sometimes how can I put this in a good way? African American men, black men don't like to really show that they're going through things. And I ended up getting like a therapist for it. Like, just it's okay to go through that stuff, but like, how long are you going to stay in your low? And I knew that I couldn't stay in this low. I had to like figure stuff out because I'm running another business as well. I got I got Airbnb guests that are checking into my properties. I got to make sure that's running smoothly. I got to make sure I'm paying my staff. I got to make sure everything is running smoothly on that, especially because my Airbnbs are not in the same state that I live in.
Hmm.
So now I got to make sure that operation is running smoothly. So um yeah, I just learned that I have to keep pushing and just keep grinding, and it's okay to have moments of reflection, if you will, and learn from it, pick yourself up, keep going, because tired don't get results.
I love that. I love how you took what you was going through and you made it a purpose to be better. And I love how you're talking about therapy because in the black community we don't like to go to therapy. Guys and women. Like it's like it's shunned upon. Like we're not supposed to do it. Like we sweep it under the rug. I know when I was younger and I used to go to my mom and tell her certain stuff, and I don't blame her for it, but she would always kind of just shoo it off like everything's gonna be okay, or pretty much I had to kind of snap out of what I was going through and keep moving. So for me, that was hard as an adult because I had so much built up from childhood that I had to learn, like, hey, Brittany, you messed up a little bit. So let's go talk to somebody who can, you know, get these thoughts out and help you figure out why you feel the way you feel or what you're going through and how to come out of that. Because, like you said, you can't stay there. You can't stay there. So, when I think of tired, don't get results, I think of motivation. I think of motivation. I think of it's a new year, new hopes, new dreams. That's why I started off with Cat Williams because I'm like, the momentum was there. Is it still there with us? Did he break the internet? Are y'all still doing your goals? Are you still focused? Are you still tuned into what you're doing? And I was just thinking about like, gosh, it's so funny how one thing can get you sidetracked and get you off of being motivated to accomplish your goals. My question to you is because you know motivation wears off. That's why I was like, okay, y'all, we 14 days into January. How y'all feeling? Have y'all picked up some bad habits? I know I have, and I'm okay to say that because I don't make New Year's resolutions no more. I learned that a long time ago. I'm still working on me from last year. So
I hear
So ain't
you. I hear
nobody about
you.
to make no New Year's resolutions because I'm still trying to stop doing this and pick up this and be better with this. So what do you do when the motivation wears off and the discipline has to come into play?
So, discipline is very key, and I'm learning from another guy that I follow on social media that discipline is like being able to learn patience. And when you're able to learn patience, then you can pretty much conquer the world. You can have anything that you want. So like, when the motivation goes away, I feel like you just need to remind yourself of why you got started in the first place, right? So if it's like right now, right, I go to the gym. The gym is flooded with people, right? It's that New Year's resolution, and I do just like you. I don't even do New Year's resolutions anymore. My whole thing is just like, how can I be better?
Right.
Like, that's just what I think about. So, but every year at the gym, lasts for like a good month or so, and then those new people that signed up for the gym start to slowly fade away because it's a temporary feeling,
Hmm.
right? It's not going to last for a long time. Your your goal needs to be strong enough that either you can stick with it yourself, knowing how strong that goal is, or you can actually have a tight circle of accountability partners, if you will, or friends that would keep you aligned with the goal. Because we human, we're gonna like slip and slide. We might not be on the same path right away, but like if you got some people, friends that can hold you accountable, then that makes the process smoother. For me, I've dealt with things like being homeless. I've dealt with, financial hardships. So as much as we don't like to label it, that's trauma.
Yes.
That's a form of trauma. So for me, if my bank account get below a certain amount of money, it's like something goes off in my mind, and then that's when the hustle really goes on. You
Hmm.
know, so it's like you just have to know what is it that you want to achieve, and sometimes you could feed off of that trauma that you
Yeah.
have because you remind yourself, hey, I don't want to go back to this. Like where I live at now compared to where I grew up at, I never want to go back to where I grew up at. So if I feel like that something might come into play that's going to bring me back to where I grew up at,
Hmm.
mm, something goes off here, and I got to start doing things, like making extra money, doing something,
Right.
you know.
I love it. I love how it sounds like you know your why, and that your why is big enough to keep fueling you whenever the motivation wears out. And then you have to be disciplined enough to keep doing it every day, because what people don't realize is it's a lifestyle. It's not something that, oh, I just want to pick up and be interested in for these 30 days. No, you have to practice this each and every day. I know, like for me, when I started the podcast, for me, it was an outlet because I'm very outspoken, Gerard. And so sometimes I would be outspoken in the wrong ways. So I was like, let me channel that into my podcast. But I really wanted people to understand what I was learning. I was learning about mindset and how to heal the inner child. And that, like, it's really that type of thinking out there if you just study it and you want to be better and you want to do good. And so it just intrigued me because I started getting around, like you said, holding myself accountable. How has holding yourself accountable with being an entrepreneur and with your business with Tired Don't Get Results and your Airbnb, how has that held you up as being successful as you are now?
It means not getting everything you want when you want it,
Mhm.
right? So it could be like, okay, hey, I got money now to go buy Louis Vuitton bags or whatever it is that you want to Chanel, this, that, the third, right? But I learned from a guy on social media, and I don't mind sharing his name because
Yeah.
his name is Wall Street Trapper, right?
Okay, I know about Wall Street.
And I'm learning about the stock market with him, right? And my goal is what the stock market is when I coach people to get into Airbnbs. My number one question that I get is people who say, "How can I get the money to get started?" I don't have the money to get started, right? Or what people do is they get they open up an LLC to get business funding, and then they go that route, which is cool, nothing wrong with that. My approach that I want to do is I want to get the money from the market to open up more Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look at it. So I'm learning from him, and you know he uh he always say instead of buying like the Gucci bags or buying Louis Vuitton, how about you buy and own the company, buy the
Yes,
stock,
invest.
invest it, and own the company. And a lot of times, and that's what really made me invest more into my brand because I had a lot of Nike gear, nothing against them, right? But I just
Mhm.
had a lot of big gear on, and I was like, I'm not getting paid for this.
Right.
So I said, instead of keep buying their gear, I'm going to invest in my gear, promote myself. And when that's marketing 101. You wear your own brand, you're
Right.
outside, people see you. Sometimes I don't even think about it if people are actually watching you and seeing what you have on. Sometimes you're going to get people that are bold enough to come up to you and say, "Hey, I like this. Where can I get this from? Some people might want to take pictures with you. It's you just never know, you know. So like it's just teaching me on how to not get things when I want, be a little bit more patient, and wait for the right opportunity.
I love it. I love how the mindset is. I love talking to an intelligent black man. I'm trying to tell you, it does something to me. First of all, it makes me proud. Not trying to say that we are ignorant. It's just that we don't like to have these type of conversations sometimes. So just to be able to speak to somebody who knows his why, who knows how discipline plays a part in him getting his results, also with the accountability of making sure that you are there and you're there and holding yourself accountable for your brand. And if you say that you're gonna put out, 1,000 wardrobe t-shirts and joggers or whatever, that you hold yourself to that. Because sometimes us black people, and I don't know why I'm thinking of hair, but I was thinking of it because I just got my hair done. We are awful. Like, okay, we'll sit up there and we'll say, you can't be late. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about the ladies now. You can't be late. My hairdresser tell me I can't be late. Here she comes strolling in. I'm on time. If I'm past 15 minutes, she docking me. I'm going to have to pay her more money. But she's strolling in here 15 minutes late. And then it's like, okay, like, hold yourself accountable to your brand. This is your brand. And you like that. So everybody know you can do hair, but okay, you still have to hold yourself accountable for your brand. And so I love that about you. I love that you understand that as you're going through this journey. What are some things that you've learned as far as like with the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur with tired don't get results? Is there anything that you could tell us, like as far as somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur and start their business? There's something
Mhm.
I don't want to say negative, but I want to say like the con that you learn in regards to that path.
So what I would probably say first is like when whatever business that you do start up, you're probably not going to be profitable right away, right? And you got to be okay with that. So when I first started my Airbnbs, I wasn't as profitable because I didn't learn certain strategies. So it was like money I was getting was money I was spending on my team and replacing mattresses, replacing like paintings and stuff like that. So you have to understand that your first year or so is going to be your learning phase.
Mhm.
So don't rush the process. You have to understand again, be a disciplined, know what the goal is. And then you're probably going to work a lot more than like a traditional job, you know. So like you'll spend more time working on your business, doing things that you need to do on your business. However, it's more rewarding because I rather work 80 hours in my business than to work 40 hours at a 9 to 5.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would appreciate it more. Like even though like there's been nights that I'm up until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm making shirts because I got orders in. I've had people say, hey, last minute, like, hey, can I get like 3 shirts? And I'm up at night making them.
That's all right. What is it something that you could tell little Gerard, like 14-year-old, 15-year-old, that if you could have said it back then to him, knowing what you know now, what is it something that you could tell him today?
Oh man, that Gerard wouldn't have listened. That Gerard wouldn't have listened. That Gerard wouldn't have listened to nobody. Um, that was a phase that I was going through where like I yeah. It goes into mindset because I
Right.
took it as like, the whole world was against me. My father passed and I was just angry at the world. So you couldn't tell me nothing. I was getting into a lot of trouble. I was out late. I just so entrepreneurship was nothing because that was not on my mind, and I wouldn't even listen to myself. But if I could say something to my younger self about it, is is always to prove them wrong and go with your gut.
Yes.
Prove
I
them
love
wrong
it.
and go with your gut.
Yeah, I love that. We got something in common. I lost my dad too, in 2000, I believe, 8. Gosh, he's been gone for so long.
Yeah.
And losing a parent just does something to you, and it make you look at the world different. And my
Yep.
daddy was like my Superman. So he was like, even though him and mom was divorced, he was there. Like he was very, very involved. And so I can say I'm proud of you just talking to you, seeing like what I've seen on the internet, what I've heard about you. Um, I think that your dad would be proud of you. I think that young black boys, black women, the next Mrs. or whoever you got coming to you, if she ain't already behind you, I think that they are going to be very proud of the Gerard that you have become because you know where you're going. You know it's all about patience, and I think a lot of us just really need to give ourselves more grace.
I'm
So
working. I'm working on that. I've heard that before. A lot of times. A lot of times we be our own worst critic. We always kind of beat on ourselves and not realizing how far we've come as individuals. And like just the other week, I went back to my old stomping grounds and seen a lot of people that I grew up with. And when they see my brand, they see what I've done, and I've even got inboxes of my friends telling me like wow, you've done a lot, and that's just to show that it could be done. It doesn't matter where you come from. You could be from the hood. It don't matter. It really goes on what you want to achieve. What do you want to accomplish in life? And I just knew that I didn't want to stay grounded. I wanted to be able to continue to be better, which it's a work in progress every day.
yeah,
You never arrive. So I just knew that I wanted to keep pushing and getting better. And I'm just working on myself, like whenever that time comes for that special person to align with my life, then that's cool. But it's not something that I'm actively pursuing. It's just when it
yes, please
happens.
don't rush.
Like it's just when it happens, and it happens. Like I feel like I just gotta do me,
Right.
and it'll happen.
Okay. I gotta pick your brain when we off the camera. I know not today, but I'm definitely interested in the Airbnb. That's why I'm just excited to hear that you even have that. Because I've always wanted to do something with the Airbnb, but I didn't know how to start. And I was following people, on the internet, and I've talked to different people, but just to be able to be in, have a conversation like I am having with you about entrepreneurship and Airbnbs and the do's and the don'ts, I definitely am gonna pick your brain later because
Yeah, come on.
yeah, that's something up my alley.
Let's
What
talk
is it
about it.
something that you could say that you're leaving in 2023 and not bringing into 2024?
Ooh, what am I leaving in 2023? So it's like more of what I'm doing more in 2024 than 2023,
Okay.
which is like meditating,
Okay.
which is you know, helping me align like my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
um, to not get angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would say that more just I'm leaving in 2023, like being so angry, um, not communicating as much. I'm leaving all that in 2023, where 2024, I'm communicating more. Um, I'm not letting things bother me as much. Um, and just want to have tunnel vision. Like I want to be able to elevate my business more. Like this is the year. There's so much resources that we have access to now that I think it's safe to say that there's no more excuses.
Oh, no excuses. No
Right?
excuses. Mm-hmm.
And the more that I expose myself to information and tapping into rooms that I thought I could not get into, elevates the mindset even more. So like I tell people all the time, even my friends, I'm like, look, you got to tap into this. You got to tap into this. Let's tap in. And a lot of times, like I give a quick scenario, right? The guy Wall Street Trapper that I talked about.
Yeah.
I love this guy energy, man. Love his energy. And he did something over the summer, which is called stock market in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much he flew to different cities and taught about the stock market in the streets, like in the hood, like in areas where he had a pen and a big pad paper and he was like talking, right?
Right.
And I told a lot of my friends, like, look, y'all should tap, that should come out and see this. He's coming, because I'm from New York. I was
Okay.
like, look, he's coming to New York. Like, I think y'all should all like come out. Like, I really want to talk about how to make money. Y'all don't have any money. Y'all complaining about this. Y'all should really tap into this.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody showed up but me, which was cool. I just knew that that wasn't for them at the time.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
took myself and I said, nah, I'm going to go and I'm going to learn how to do this, how to play this game. And whenever y'all ready, y'all can meet me over there.
I love it. I love it. Y'all hear Gerard in the building. It's all about tunnel vision in 2024. Y'all tap in. Gerard, tell us where we can find you at on social media.
Yeah, you can find me Instagram Gerard Jerard _AD. That's Instagram. That's Facebook. That's TikTok, Twitter. All of it is the same thing. JERARD _AD. Tap in. I got questions about Airbnb. Look, let me know. I can help you out whatever way I can. I want to support the brand, title, get results. I definitely appreciate it. It's on my pages.
Yes. All right. So before I close out, is there anything else that you would like to say to the audience? Any nuggets you want to drop, or any type of encouragement for us and for anybody else that's struggling?
The only thing I would say is just never give up. I know it's easier said than done. Because when you're in the moment, it really seems tough. But I've been to those places, so just never give up. Just continue to keep pushing. Keep a tight and accountable circle, because they always say that the five people that you're closest to average out the income that you make. So make sure that you know who you keeping around. If they're not really helping you elevate, make more money, become better. I'm not saying to cut them off, but just understand the type of people that you're going to have in your life. And we in 2024, it's all about elevating. Just imagine where your life would be if you took the next 6 months to grind it out. Just imagine where your life would be. So that's what I got.
Yes, you're
Let's
giving me
go.
goosebumps.
Yeah, let's go.
Y'all hear
Sometimes you gotta be
Gerard.
alone. Sometimes you gotta be alone for that to happen. Sometimes some people, might not need to be in your life for you to be able to have that growth that you need to have. Like, I
Yes,
talked about my breakup. Maybe that really need to happen for
right.
me to take it to the level that I need to take it to. Who
Right.
knows? You
And
know?
it's okay. It's definitely okay. I love it. I love all the knowledge and jewels that you have given to the audience today. Y'all, it's all about tunnel vision in 2024. Tired, don't get results. This is episode number 74. We are signing out with Truth Be Told Podcast. Y'all go like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And go find Gerard and go get his apparel, because y'all see he popping.
Let's go. Tap in.
We are signing out. You have a good evening, Gerard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're
Thank
gonna talk.
you. Good evening.